If you want to discuss Colleen Ballinger's very questionable skits involving children, knock yourself out. If you want to talk about Colleen Ballinger being Two-Face, go ahead. If you want to talk about Colleen Ballinger allegedly grooming children, I have nothing to say to stop that. If you want to speak to the allegations that she used her very young fans to go after commentators who spoke out against her, I agree with you. It's not okay. So this takes us to Radiantbritt speaking about the allegations made against Colleen Ballinger.
Here's another clip that was just uncovered 11 hours ago of Colleen being racist again. Here she is cosplaying as an Asian woman. She spits on Rachel, who is doing the interview for this quote skit that she did, and she's mocking Asian people.
Have you heard the good news today? That Jesus has risen from the dead?
Oh my goodness, good news.
Add that to the list, and y'all who try to say, oh, that's not how Colleen is. The proof is constant. It is literally stacking up against her. Stop ignoring it.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
If you look above the arrow, you will see 3 racist pieces of memorabilia hanging on the wall and shelf behind Radiantbritt. The Washington Redskins, the most historically racist team in NFL history. The original owner of the Washington Redskins, Mr. George P. Marshall, who was openly racist, at one time had a gentleman's agreement with other NFL owners to keep the league from integrating black players. This unofficial agreement, however, was broken in 1946 by the Los Angeles Rams and Cleveland Browns. As other teams began to integrate black players into their teams, it wasn't until President Kennedy threatened to ban the team from playing home games in Washington Stadium, which was later renamed RFK Stadium, from playing there unless they integrated black players. RFK Stadium was built on federal land. The Washington Redskins were the last team in the NFL to integrate its team. So when you talk about somebody being racist while proudly displaying racist memorabilia in your home, well, I can't really go for that.
Great. Can you describe the perpetrator to me, ma'am?
Yo, he looked like a man.
Okay, he was a man.
Yo,
Okay,
everything I tell you I saw.
good.
So when you talk about somebody being racist while proudly displaying racist memorabilia in your home right behind you, while you pile on the condemnation of cancel culture, I can't sit back and say nothing. Imagine a church pastor preaching about abstinence while a used condom is hanging out of his pocket. I'm going to guess that Radiantbritt was not aware of the historical facts surrounding the Washington Redskins. However, I am also fairly certain that she has been aware of the controversy surrounding the team name being Redskins, a name that was only changed after the George Floyd murder in 2020, and also in part the threat of economic sanctions against the team. I find it annoying when white people who cannot possibly understand the impact systemic racism and racial tropes continue to have on classifications of people whose genealogical roots do not originate from Europe. I also take umbrage with people who manipulate racial outrage to validate an argument. I mean, what's the reason for the banner and helmet, Brett? Let me guess. You don't agree with the name, but you support the team? Or maybe it was a different time back then. I didn't make this video as a jump off. I commented to this very video Radiantbritt made, and perhaps she was too busy making a new video to notice my comment. However, she did respond to other comments on that video that were made well after I made my comments. To be clear, I don't have any reason to believe that Radiantbritt is racist. Because America is a society of systemic racism, the line is sometimes unseen by those who have no designs at all to offend people of color and ethnic ideologies. The European settlers that came to America abandoned their own culture and sought to destroy those who wanted to maintain their culture. The indigenous tribes, the African slaves, the Chinese, the Mexicans. None of this was done by accident, it was all done by design. Honestly, with everything that's been said about Colleen Ballinger as far back as Adam McIntyre in 2020, there was no need to talk about a video that was dredged up from yesteryear to further make a point. One could easily argue, honestly, that it was a satire of the white man's burden being done in a comedic fashion. Radiantbritt commenting about Colleen Ballinger allegedly being racist, I didn't see that as actual outrage. I saw it as piling on the cancellation of Colleen Ballinger. I'm not going to question her motive for airing the video, but I do question the judgment she used to think it was necessary to put it there. I honestly think Radiantbritt was caught up in the sensation of cancel Colleen Ballinger phenomenon, which probably must have made Illuminati breathe a sigh of relief.